say you called yourself Red. Red is a kid from Pallet Town who's about to set off on a Pokemon journey across the region of Kanto. Kanto being one of many regions in the Pokemon world. Red's mum doesn't really seem too fussed about her 10-year-old kid leaving home. She finally gets a bedroom, and then before you know it, you're free, ready to venture out into the grass and capture all of the Pokemon. Or not. Professor Oak suddenly appears and tells you that it's dangerous to go alone and whisks you off to his lab being the only thing to do in Pallet Town. Professor Oak is the Kanto region's most renowned Pokemon professor. He's also the guy that gives you your first Pokemon. Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur, your friend for life, or until you box them in Bill's PC. We'll get to Bill later. This is also where you meet your rival, who you may have named Blue, Gary, or maybe even Poohhead. Now that you have your first Pokemon, you're finally ready to set off on a journey through Viridian City. Unfortunately, the Viridian City gym leader's away. There's also an old man led down blocking the road. He's not had a coffee yet, unless you're playing the Japanese games where he is drunk. But with nothing to do, Red picks up a package from the Pokemart for Professor Oak, and what luck! Professor Oak has a brand new Pokedex. A Pokedex is a device that lets you record data on every single Pokemon you see and catch, and Professor Oak wants you to do this for all 151 of them. Gotta catch them all. Basically, you're free child labour to Professor Oak, and he wants you to go out there and complete his life's work. So Red sets off again through Viridian City, through Viridian Forest, that leads to Pewter City. Things to do: look at rocks at the Rock Museum and fight rocks in the Rock Gym. The gym is our goal here. In Kanto, there are 8 gyms that you need to beat, each victory awarding you with a shiny Pokemon gym badge. Collect all 8 gym badges and you get to qualify for the Pokemon League, the ultimate test of trainer and Pokemon. But first, Red needs his first gym badge, so he battles Brock. You might recognise Brock as this guy from the anime. Now, unfortunately, when you beat Brock, he doesn't join you like in the anime, but he does give you a Boulder badge and the TM for Flash. Gym badge in hand, we set off for Cerulean City. Sound familiar? Might be because that's where Misty is from. Misty from the popular Google search, when will Misty come back to the Pokemon anime? On the way to Cerulean City, we meet a man who wants to sell some Magikarp for 500 Pokédollar. Bargain. Red then makes his way through Mount Moon, battles Team Rocket, the bad guys of the game, battles a super nerd, that's actually what he's called in the game, and robs him of a Helix, Fossil Rays Helix, and finally ends up in Cerulean City. This is where Red takes on his second gym, battles and beats Misty, gets given a Cascade badge, but unfortunately Misty does not join you on your journey. Annoyingly, you can't leave Cerulean City to shake off Misty's rejection either, as the only way out of town is through someone's back garden, which has just been robbed, so the police are now blocking the door. And let's go see Bill. We head up a bridge up north, we battle our rival Gary and crush him, and finally meet Bill. Bill, the guy who made Bill's PC, the place where your Pokemon get stored, and he's turned himself into a Pokemon. Silly Bill. You free Bill, turn him back into a human, and he gives you a ticket for the SS Anne, a ship that is going to leave from Vermilion City. Only one thing stands between Red and the Vermilion City gym leader, and that is nature. There's a tree blocking your path, and Red does not have an axe to hand. I mean, who would give a 10-year-old an axe? He also does not have a HM for cutter, HM being a hidden machine that lets you teach your Pokemon cool moves like Fly, Surf, Strength, and how to cut trees. So with nothing else to do, we board the SS Anne. Spoiler alert, in the anime, the ship sinks, and probably does in the game too, but we just don't see it. Oh yeah, we have a bike now as well. We then head up to see the ship's captain, but he's feeling seasick, so Red gives him a 10 out of 10 back rub, and he gives you a HM for cut. Basically, we can cut down that tree that's blocking our way to the gym, head in, beat Lieutenant Surge, a paranoid gym leader who fought in a war, crush his electric Pokemon, and head off on our merry way to Lavender Town. Or not. There's a Snorlax blocking the road, and apparently no one in the Pokemon world can walk around things, kind of like lemmings, so we have to head all the way back up to Cerulean City through Rock Tunnel, a tunnel so dark you need to use Flash to see, forget the tail on your Charmander, in fact it's a massive flame, and end up in Lavender Town, but we don't have a Silphscope yet, so we head on to Celadon City, home with the Game Corner, gambling without an age limit. But are we really surprised? It's run by Team Rocket. Red infiltrates Team Rocket's base and beats their leader Giovanni. Red is given a Silphscope that lets him see ghosts in Lavender Town, but first, we need to take on the Celadon City gym leader, Erica, and rob her of her rainbow badge. Did I mention that we can fly now? Red flies back to Lavender Town and bursts into the region's largest Pokemon graveyard. I mean, it's the region's only Pokemon graveyard, which makes you kind of wonder what they do with Pokemon. You then battle Gary, who no longer has his Raticate, leading us to believe that Red is a murderer. Use the Silphscope on the mysterious ghost to find out that it is in fact a ghostly Marowak. Marowak confirmed as a Lola version of Gengar. We then find out that Team Rocket have taken Mr. Fuji hostage, rescue him from Team Rocket, and receive a magical Pokeflute that can awaken any Pokemon. Yes, Snorlax, I am talking about you. So we finally wake up Sleeping Beauty and find ourselves in Fuchsia City. This is the town of our 5th gym battle, but who cares about that? There is a Pokemon Safari. This is where we find Pokemon who have been bred in captivity, such as Chansey, Execute, and Kangaskhan. We also find a HM for Surf and a pair of gold teeth. The gold teeth belonging to the Safari Zone's Warden, who gives you a HM for Strength in return for his teeth. Red then battles his 5th gym, beats Koga, the Ninja Master, and heads to Saffron City. Oh look, it's Team Rocket again. They're conveniently blocking the gym and have also taken over Silphco, a company who makes Pokeballs, TMs, and even the Silph Scope that you use to see ghosts. Basically, these guys run the world. You then bounce around floor to floor using teleport pads to beat Team Rocket Grunt, and eventually the boss man, Giovanni, the president of Silph, then gives you a Master Ball as a reward. The Master Ball is one of the holy grails of the Pokemon world, as it lets you capture anything except for another training's Pokemon, humans, items, Misty. Basically, you can just capture wild Pokemon. We then challenge a Saffron City gym, a psychic gym which awards us with a Marsh badge. Red then completes another zigzag all the way back down to Fuchsia City, where we get ready to surf to Cinnabar Island. Surf is a fancy move that turns you into a whale. On the way, Red dashes through Seafoam Island, home of Articuno, one of 3 legendary birds in the game, and then eventually ends up on Cinnabar Island. This island consists of a burnt down mansion, a few houses, and a Pokemon gym. But first, we have to go into that dangerous looking burnt mansion to obtain a secret key that lets us enter the gym. Red finds the secret key, heads down to the Cinnabar Island gym, beats the gym leader Blaine, and we make our merry way back to the final gym in Viridian City. Red busts in and beats every single lingering trainer inside the gym. You've got to wonder whether these trainers have been locked in there ever since the gym leader's been away. And we eventually find out that the gym leader is none other than Team Rocket's Giovanni, who's been hid away to rebuild Team Rocket inside the gym. So naturally, we crush those dreams by beating Giovanni, and with that we now have 8 gym badges and we're ready to head west to the Indigo Plateau to take on the Pokemon League. On the way, we once again battle Gary. Red then passes Victory Road, and maybe even captures Moltres, and finds himself at the Indigo Plateau, the Pokemon League, the big game. The Pokemon League consists of 4 elite trainers and a champion trainer. In the Kanto League, you face off against Lorelei, an ice trainer, Bruno, a fighting trainer, Agatha, a ghost trainer, and Lance, the former Pokemon League champion who was recently dethroned by Gary, or Blue, or Poohead, whatever you called it. He is now the Pokemon League champion, and we are not going to stand for that. Red bursts into the Champions Chamber and beats Gary, putting an end to his arrogant ways. Professor Oak then arrives, having rushed over after hearing news that his grandson was the new Pokemon League champion, but alas, you have already stripped him of that title and won. So Professor Oak takes you back into the Hall of Fame, where you enter all of your Pokemon's data and record forever that you are a Pokemon League champion. Roll credits, the end, or is it? Remember, you got to catch them all. So we head back into the game, catch all Pokemon, catch Mewtwo, who is now waiting for us, visit the game designer, and get the final prized ultimate endgame of Pokemon, a certificate from the game designer saying you've caught all of the Pokemon. Please throw a like down below. This has taken a lot of research and a lot of playing through the games. It's been really fun, but a lot of work. Please comment, and please do subscribe for the next ones in this series, because it's so much fun. Whether you're a fan of Pokemon or someone new to Pokemon, I'm hoping this is going to bring you up to date with what you've missed and make you want to play the game. So, bye guys.